right. So what are we gonna say immediately right off the bat to demonetize ourselves this time?
Please no.
Please no. That's not a screw
Big,
Disney.
hard, throbbing cocks at Ram
Da-
Ranch.
down
There
with
it is.
Warner.
There it is.
Down with Warner Brothers.
I mean, they don't even have the money to sue us anymore.
Kill the rat.
The rat being Mickey Mouse.
Of course.
Okay.
Release
Just want to make sure I knew where
Batgirl.
you were going with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a shame.
Not Ratatouille. He can live.
Release,
Good rat.
release
Leave that rat
Ratatouille.
alone.
Release him from
Release Remy.
slavery. Dig him out from Gordon Ramsay's ass.
Gross.
Well, Gordon Ramsay doesn't wear a hat, so where else could he be?
I thought. Yeah.
He actually just uses
It's
the
raw!
pubes.
Yeah,
He
it
uses the
is.
pubes.
Anyways,
All right. Well, now that we've got that all taken care of, you
Now
guys
that we're
sure
suitably
now that the
Hold on.
investors are frightened,
you pulled out all the stops out for that.
We have no originality left for anything
I had
else.
a great pitch for like a 10,000-year-old queen, but she was like looked like a baby, and they canceled it.
No, I think that was called Dance in the Vampire Bond.
yeah.
Well, the problem is it was animated. Yeah, I pitched an animated Twilight, but yeah, they shut it down.
Oh, it's a shame.
Pity. Too
Um,
rich.
So last time, you guys finished the battle for Kaime with a decisive victory, with some timely intervention from your friend Arbaz. And there's
Yeah. Very timely. Otherwise, Jacques would have been 6 feet under.
I mean, there's still time. But it is good that Elijah worked so hard to make sure that he was present for the battle.
Well,
I think you
Very.
could have done it though.
Oh, we could have done it. It just would have been a little bloodier.
But the town is no longer on fire, so that's good. You guys have decided that you want to basically reorganize everything as much as possible, and then march on Bateau, essentially immediately. And I believe we decided at the end of last session that we wanted to basically have the intrigue be the siege of Bateau as opposed to like the prep up for the siege. So before you guys can set off, though, there are a couple of pieces of business to take care of. So the first is, I believe, that, so we had some interesting things happen during the battle a couple of weeks ago, where the stormtroopers actually were the ones who ended up surrendering, whereas the human troops were the ones that ended up fighting basically to the last man. So what are you doing with these guys?
sticking them in a dungeon somewhere, or like how many are there actually? Like how many vampires is in a unit?
So I've been basically saying that each unit is roughly 100 fighting men. And so then a unit of stormtroopers is probably something on the order of like 25 in order to have like an equivalent like size force ratio. Like they're more effective, even more effective than that, but there's less of them.
Okay, so if persistence would probably make sure, like if we have a dungeon, like we don't really have a lot of prisoners at the moment, so put them in whatever remains of the dungeon. Set the guards with however many drift globes we have on hand, and make sure they don't have their like daywalker armor, so that if there's any attempts to escape, it's just like, well, bye. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you'll remember, the basement of Fort Puerto, there's there was a crypt that you guys conveniently made an explosion that blocked off both entrances,
Hmm.
but didn't actually like touch the actual crypt itself. Um, so you can stick them in there, and only one of the entrances has been cleared. So, um, like, I'll assume that you guys posted a guard on the other end anyway in case they try any funny business. Um, but you definitely have a hole you can stick them in. And how many drift globes do you have?
I know I have one. Nobody else brought a drift globe. Okay.
No.
I was under the impression at least somebody else had common sense, but here we are.
I see in the dark. What do I need one for?
Destroying vampires.
Rude.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
because we've established that in this setting, the daylight spell counts as sunlight, even though technically in the larger rule set, I don't think it's supposed to be.
It's such a weird. Meh.
Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't actually specify that it counts as sunlight, but the spell is called daylight, so we made the ruling and now we're sticking with it. So,
Until the vampires adapt.
right, until the vampires adapt
It's going to
or
be a
become
holy shit
angels.
moment. Yeah.
I mean, the way they adapt is they become angels. That's how they adapt.
There's also that, yeah. Yeah, so I'd do that, and then I'd probably ask Jacques what he wants done with them. I'm shocked that Jacques didn't have an answer.
I would say we keep them locked up for the time being. See if there's any information we can get out of them. I, there's no telling if there's a possibility that they would come to our side. But if not, then I would consult with Elijah because he might have a use for them.
Well, I think this is might be part of a larger conversation, but why don't you... Would you like to ask them why they surrendered first? I can always ask them if you'd rather not deal with it.
No, I can ask them.
Very good. And I will accompany Jacques down as just bodyguard. Make sure nothing funny happens.
Of course, with your drift globe in case there's anything funny that happens.
Yeah, the guard has that, but I'm there with my sword. So
Yeah. So the two of you, do you want to bring anybody else, or does anybody else want to come? To
this
Oh, I'm gonna slip in there for sure.
Okay, you're hiding on the ceiling, just listening.
Oh
depending
yeah, and then I'm gonna like go down one of the side walls and sneak into the crowd.
depending on how this goes, Persistence might try to have a follow-up conversation. So for now, he'd only invite Jacques. He doesn't care if Elijah's there, but he pointedly would just like, "Yep, you and me. Let's go do it quick," and then.
Okay. According to the new rules, I think you would need to have rolled one higher for it to be. You don't even roll.
That's fair.
They're not new yet.
They're not our rules yet, Arthas. Nor would I rule them that way even if they were.
Fair.
Anyway,
Do you get that reference yet, Nash? Do you understand that?
Now I do. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Can you even make it, Uther? Glad you could make it, Uther. That's what it was.
yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to try and roll perception, or are you just gonna let him have
honestly,
it?
I just assume Elijah is anywhere, so I'm not surprised. Like, there's no fucking persistence is just like, yeah, Elijah is wherever it would be either most convenient or least convenient for him to be, and I just assume that.
So you just
I just love that you've accepted this.
I mean, it is kind of funny having a player character who's able to Batman people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's also like there were other knights who every now and then would just, they're stealthy people too. They're, Shadow Master Illriggers and such, and that's what they do. So Persistence is kind of used to just looking up and just see somebody standing on a ceiling, just looking at him. It's like, all right, hello.
Do Shadow Masters get spider climb?
I would imagine you could buy that shit. Like it's
Oh yeah, I mean, there's slippers of spider climbing, so it's a
yeah,
magic item.
yeah.
Okay. So the two of you, followed by Elijah, make your way down into the basement. The guard salutes, the drift globe glowing softly beside him, uh, next to the hole that you have stuck these guys into. Um, all right, do you motion for the guard to uh, go and get somebody, or are you gonna go in yourself or
Who?
call out?
No, we would. Oh, are they all just like in a cell all together? Not so. I guess we don't really have separate cells.
I think you do
There's
have
only one
separate
of me.
cells, but there's not enough for everybody.
I'm.
So you, you,
Yeah.
you could have ordered your men to put the like captain in a separate cell.
I'm
Um,
interested in speaking with the captain.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
Well,
we
I,
would
that
have the captain separate.
okay. So you've got the massive the regular guys all in the the crypt basically.
Mm-hmm.
In the hole.
In the hole, yeah. I mean that's where the other vampire unit that you guys have destroyed was quartered before anyway. So
Yeah.
that's where they prefer to be anyway. Um, being vampires and all. Um, but the captain has his own cell, so you see him sitting in his his cell. It's the opposite corner, if I believe. I think the crypt is in the southeast corner, and the prisoner cells are in the northeast corner. Um, but he's kind of sitting just in the dark, in the shadows, in the corner of the cell, and he looks up as the two of you approach.
Um. What was his name?
He hasn't. You haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. Well, we would have when we took him in. We
Yeah.
probably. Well, I
You,
guess.
you,
Yeah, Jacques can ask him his name to start the conversation. I'm
yeah.
just gonna stand slightly behind Jacques and just sort of motion him forward.
Step forward towards him, and I'll just say, simply answer our questions, and we can go from there. Your name?
I am Captain Adrian Escasso.
Good. You're amicable. This is good.
Nif, damn it.
Now, such a stormtrooper.
That's actually a reused image. He doesn't have his armor on. I didn't think about that, but you're right.
It's
That would be the first thing
mainly
you guys would do.
it's mainly the
It's
emblem on
mainly
the
the
shield.
helm.
It's
I was gonna say the helmet.
no, the helmet makes sense because the others like that. It's the emblem on the shield. It's just
He's looking for rebel scum.
yeah. Oh yes.
I mean, that's what you guys are.
Yep. Oh wait,
Um,
can he be John Boyega?
Shut your mouth.
Vampire Jean Boyega.
Yeah, it's French.
On the one hand, I love the idea. On the other hand, the implications of like the reference don't quite fit up with what I've got in mind for the character.
Okay,
But I
never
think
mind.
we'll roll
It
with
doesn't
it.
need to
No,
be.
no,
It
no, no, no,
doesn't
no,
need
no.
to be.
It's no. I like it. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna yes and it. So yeah, he's vampire John Boyega.
Okay, all right.
That's our face cannon. Also, we know the Empire is racially diverse. They're
Yes.
just they're
They're just
yeah, they're
humanists.
they're speciesist.
Yeah. Well, let's not get into that whole discussion.
Species monsters.
Ever seen of this location? I just get the Bateau map.
Right.
It is. Yeah, it's just the. There's no scene. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys are talking about a thing.
I can move you to. Let me get the.
The maps are also broken. I was trying to do world map things earlier.
were they?
Yeah.
That's all I
Oh,
was
yeah, map
wondering. You
change
guys were
isn't working.
talking about a Star Wars like fucking trooper dude, and I'm like, where is he?
Oh, did you not even see? He just shared the window thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't. No, I didn't catch it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, well.
Here we go.
I just want to make sure
yes.
my thing was
Ah,
working.
good. Complete with the complete with the zero detonation.
Let's see.
Okay. Anyway, Captain Escazo. A simple question comes to mind, which is strange that it will be asked. Why did you surrender when everyone else around you fought to the last?
Seems like a reasonable question to me, actually. And the answer is equally reasonable, I think you'll find. We serve the Empress. The Count, theoretically, also serves the Empress, and so our interests align. However, I think you'll agree that it seems the Count has lost control of this situation, and so it is not in the Empress's interest that we spend our lives for the preservation of his power at the expense of the Empire.
Uh,
Hmm.
hmm.
You make it sound as if Blackwood is trying to make some bigger play against the Empire itself.
Please, Viscount. You are a noble of the Empire. You understand the politics. The Empress's power is absolute. But where everybody falls underneath her, well, that's much more fluid, isn't it?
It appears that that is the case.
Uh, going to, if you give us one moment, Jacques. Uh, and I would motion the guard to take my place watching Jock, and I would go to the other cell, and I would where the rest of the troops
Wow.
are. Yeah, to where the rest of the
Okay.
troops are, and I would just ask them, it's like, your captain says that you all surrendered because you do not feel that the Count best serves the Empress's interests, and that you are all still loyal to her interests and not the Count. I just want to confirm that you are all of like mind of this.
We are at the captain's orders. He is our master, the one that the Empress has deigned to uh, lead us, and so we follow his orders, whatever he decides.
If you are no longer, you are currently captured. You are no longer a unit. You are no longer in a military chain of command. Assuming that the captain had fallen in battle and you all were left to your own devices, what would you choose? Loyalty to the Empress or loyalty to some other cause or power?
Our chain of command would remain intact. If the captain had fallen, then Lieutenant Perkins here would be in charge.
And, and you
But it would
all?
be
Perkins.
his decision.
And Perkins?
It's
What
always
would be your call?
Our duty is to the Empire. Sometimes that aligns with the Count's objectives, sometimes it does not. The Empire is in a war for its survival. We cannot afford to waste troops protecting the territory of the weak.
But you are still loyal to the Empress, no?
Absolutely.
All right. Understood. Go back to the other room. Jock probably talked to the captain in between.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense.
I think because that actually, like, there's a lot of implications with these statements that they've made.
We finally got to the politics.
I know.
Here we are, a year later.
A year later, we've reached politics. What a dangerous game is this?
Do you want to go back to the burning town facing down an angel?
Oh, hell no.
Because that could be arranged.
Lost your mind. I. Hmm. Now, Captain, you stated that you surrendered to us because of the Count's interest or mindset no longer being in line with the Empire's. Precisely is his mindset or goal now? Or are you not privy to that information?
Is it not obvious? The Count fears for his domain. He has ruled these lands for centuries, and now within a matter of weeks everything is under threat. He is using anything and everything at his disposal to re-establish his power, and it has failed time and time again. If someone else were to take his place and swear fealty to the Empress, then he would simply be out of luck, as it were. Uh, and Lev, you have a book. The book, one of the books you read, right, was about uh, the different like noble families of the empire, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and so you would know from having read that book that uh, throughout the history of the empire, the various noble families have jockeyed for position and control over the land within the empire, and it's very much like a
Oh, it's a very
uh,
Machiavellian, I'd imagine.
it's yeah
Like
Machiavellian.
most.
It's kind of like you know how with feudal Japan,
Hmm.
like there was the emperor who was the absolute authority, and everybody said that they were loyal to them, and uh, but on top of that, everybody was also trying to fight everybody else to be in power. So it's kind of like that kind of scenario,
Yeah.
but the emperor does still have power.
Uh, on my way back to Jacques, in the hallway, out of earshot of both the regular prisoners and Jacques, I would stop and just like say out loud to anybody in the hallway, any opinions, objections, Elijah? Not even knowing he's there, just the whole you walk into an empty room and you say hello FBI. Like,
Yeah.
Hello, NS agent?
As a whole, they stay loyal. Individuals may turn, but the unit itself would be difficult to break them of their devotion.
I believe our time is better spent elsewhere. Do you agree?
I think I agree.
From outside the room, I'm gonna mage hand pull the drift globe that the guard had floating by him.
Hmm.
Gonna pull it to myself, walk back to the troops, and say, "For your empire's crimes against the Savonian Protectorate, I hereby execute you all and daylight them."
Uh,
Oh,
they all hiss and yowl and scream as the drift globe bursts with radiant light. Uh, you're silhouetted in black behind it, in black in front of it as their world goes white, and in uh, well, it does what 20 radiant damage a turn.
I would just sit there, just
Yeah.
waiting. Just
No, I know that it will kill them. The question is,
I want
can
to
they kill
imagine this.
you in the intervening time?
they're behind bars.
They're
No,
vampires,
they're
dude.
not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um.
If we didn't have them properly secured, that would have been a whole other
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. Okay. I'm assuming you put some sort of restraints in place, like you shackled them or
I
something.
I don't think
Sure.
persistence wouldn't.
We
Okay.
Yeah,
staked him to the
if
ground.
Okay. Yeah.
if we hadn't, we would have just fed them poisoned food. Like,
Yeah. They all crumble to dust then, and
Yeah,
without any chance to strike back.
yeah. Persistence would
Empire's
even.
got like 18 strength. They
Yeah,
can turn into mist.
These are spawn though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the stormtroopers are all
It's a little
spawn.
weaker then.
I can also just like stab any through the bars while they're trying to do that. So, and I know that Elijah's there as well. Like I'm not. Persistence isn't necessarily worried. How much noise does that make?
Quite a bit. I mean, they're shouting and yelling. Um, I think it's audible throughout the basement. So, you like you hear the guard like come around the corner and see what's happening. And uh, I guess which unit is the guard
Oh,
from?
I would only trust the Dragonborn to guard
Okay.
these people.
Okay. So a dragonborn soldier comes around the corner and he sees you with the drift globe. Uh, Cusco, how would he react? How would a typical UDDC soldier react to this?
Gonna add it to the propaganda.
What is he reacting to? Apologies. I've been focusing on the technical thing.
Persistence is executing the prisoners
After
with prejudice.
after they said that they only surrendered because they were loyal to the Empress, not to Blackwood. Like I confirmed that there was no way that they were going to join us without some significant like breaking them. So
Which made
Yeah.
Elijah very sad. He was hoping to turn them and make him his unit.
as soon
See,
as
that was my first thought.
as soon as this is over, I'm just gonna say what a waste and walk away. So
Yeah. I mean, unless something were to happen to the Empress, then
no, and the Empress is, as far as Persistence is aware, or is concerned, this campaign has shifted from helping Jacques retake his homeland to killing the Empress. So,
yeah.
Oh, look, now we got him on the
but
side of
I would
rebellion and revenge.
yeah, but I would look at the Dragonborn as he would come in and just look at him and say, "Any objections?"
Niet
Uh,
comrade. Oh, sorry. I didn't. I thought you were.
No, I mean, I was gonna say he would probably just be like, "All right, this is above my pay grade."
Yeah.
I mean, especially the UDDC don't really view undeath in the best of light, considering their only experience with them has been this war of wanton imperial aggression.
Yeah, like the
So
reason.
they'd be upset if he was just slaughtering people, but they're not quite sure if vampires spawn beholden to magical power
Constituted
qualify.
people.
Rude.
Yeah, and I'd wait.
You're not beholden to the magical power.
And I would wait until they're all dead. I would hand the guard back the drift globe, and I would say to what the guard thinks is an otherwise empty corridor, such a waste. And then I would return to Jacques.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the conversation you're having in the middle of this minutes long of screams?
I know it's difficult what I
Uh,
want to ask because this person obviously he's not that in the know of Blackwood's mindset going in, but he's given me really important information, which is that he's going to continuously hold on to whatever he wants, so we can use that to sort of
You also
turn any
had
of
a
the
few minutes
super
without screams
devout.
to have a conversation. Like this wasn't
Yeah.
just like
I
instant.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think of what I would say or ask to him, because there very much is just there's no getting through to him now. It's pretty much set that this dude isn't gonna change or give up his mindset or devotion to the Empress. It's a bit of a lost cause, and he's not gonna give me any more information about Blackwood that he hasn't already given me. It's really just gonna be the thing. Then they you'll look at him and say, crap. You ally yourself with the Empress, put her as your devotion shows with you and your people and the Empire. But you must see that this is folly now. It might not have been the fight against the capital, but you have seen now firsthand what we are capable of, and that our strength will only grow from here. You have a rare opportunity in front of you, Captain.
Uh,
I offer you simply this, and no other offer will be made after. You can join our cause, and embrace a power that is like that of your blessed. Or, since you have committed yourself honorably to your cause and showed logic and level thinking in your surrender, can offer you a quick demise. You will die staunch and stalwart in your beliefs, or you can learn the folly that is the Empire's way. I leave that decision to you.
I recognize the futility of the battle that we just fought, and you very well may overcome the Count, but you cannot overcome the Empress. Moreover, I do not think that you understand. Why do you think the Count was so desperate to turn Godwin?
Because he sought it as a weapon against me, a weakness that I wouldn't be able to strike down one of my own. And that mindset and that thought has already crossed my path many a time, especially knowing that others are closer to the Empress now than they have been.
Hmm. That is certainly a reason.
You have a different thought to that?
I am not permitted to say more with the uninitiated.
I believe we are beyond that at the moment. You stare at death's doorway. I believe bureaucracy, red tape, and initiation are far beyond this now.
Again, you persist in your ignorance. I cannot tell you. I cannot say more. It is a struggle to say even this much. I have experienced death before. I will welcome it a second time if this is all that you have for me.
Well, then we will. Then that will be that. And I draw my sword,
Mhm.
um, cast Searing Smite across it, and I impale him with it.
Mhm. Um, so you've been talking through the bars up to this point, right?
He's on bars. Yeah.
Uh, do you open the
Is he shackled or chained? Or is he.
yeah, he would be shackled. I think persistence would take that precaution.
Oh yeah.
Then, yeah, I'll open and go up to him and.
Okay. You enter his cell, and he stands,
Oh, what are you doing in here?
and kind of puffs out his chest and looks you dead in the eye as you raise your sword and thrust it forth, uh, and he burns, and your sword glows with your holy power. Uh, but he, unlike his men, uh, offers no resistance, uh, does not cry out either for mercy or in rage. He merely accepts, and as the light from your blow fades, not remains of him but ash.
As that happens, I imagine Jacques hears in the
Yeah,
background just the agonized screams of the same thing happening to the rest of them.
yeah, yeah. So then the sounds of yelling and screaming uh, echoes down the corridor to you.
What a wholesome
You
time.
were you were an honorable man, Adrian Escasso. It is a shame you follow so blindly. Followed so blindly. Sheathe my sword and I head out the room.
Okay.
As I finish my work and look at Jacques, and I'll just say, his men are of like mind, unfortunately. Uh, look towards the guards. Clean this up if you would. Uh, and then I'll
I'll
sort of
get
look
the
towards,
broom.
yeah, and I'll look towards Jacques, and it's like, if you both would like to join me, I believe that a discussion is in order. I was hoping to have it at Bateau,
Agreed.
but we should probably have it now, and I would implicate him and Elijah. I'm not sure if Jacques also knows that Elijah is there.
After the whole crap at Villa Planche, he believes that Elijah is everywhere.
Yeah. So,
Turn a corner, and it's an Elijah.
Yeah, that's fair.
uh,
Pretty much how it goes.
I would bring us to a room where there are no guards or other people, nowhere that somebody would just like walk in on us just to have a private conversation between
Yeah.
the three of us.
The mayor's residence has plenty of conference rooms that would be suitable to your purpose.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Because I pointedly just want these two. I probably would have mentioned this idea to have this conversation to Aerith before the battle. It's just like, this is something that we're going to need to discuss when we take Bateau. But Persistence would now decide, it's like, no, we need to have this conversation now.
Mhm.
And it's one that he would not invite Minsk, Tenlis, and Aerith to. He'd let Aerith know that it's going to happen, but he wouldn't even bother with Tenlis and Minsk. Uh, he'd get to the room, sort of sit down, make
I
sure
immolate Persistence for doing this.
I'd pour everybody drinks and say, I had originally planned to have this conversation, and I would hell sight the room to make sure that there's no like spies or anybody like lurking in the corners or anything like that.
And I would
You are alone.
divine, and I would
Yep.
divine sense to make sure there's not any strange
Any undead? You
fiends,
get
celestials, or undead.
you get a little bit of a whiff off Elijah, but
And
Yeah,
possibly a little whiff off of our boss,
I mean, yeah.
where he's
I
not
just had
too
a
far
great
away.
idea. What if I made a familiar that's like a worm and I put it in people's meals and I can put the familiar in their body and then I don't know where this goes.
Probably.
then you can cast touch
Don't
spells on them at any
please,
time.
please don't continue.
I
I
could
don't
make a
want to know
chest
that.
burster outside of them. Dude, that's the next mage.
Oh my God, is he okay? Well, he had the special. I ordered the special.
Yeah.
Change my
A,
order to
a
the soup.
mage cook that just fills you with xenomorphs.
Would
Uh,
Jacques comment on Arbaz? Because Persistence would make it clear, it's like, I want to have this conversation with just the two of you.
He'd look at Elijah and he would state, I believe that while it is respected that your friend is very proficient in stealth, I believe it'd be beneficial until for him to give us some privacy in this matter.
What's the range on your spell?
Divine sense.
Mm-hmm.
60 feet.
Okay. He'll walk
And
over the
I
wall and
know,
slam his hand against the
yeah,
wall twice, and you'll feel that presence just barely slink out of reach, like far enough he can't hear.
Yes. Thank you, Elijah. You can, of course, repeat this with anyone that you wish to. I do not wish to have a secret meeting from our allies, but I do wish for you two specifically to have a conversation with each other without any external forces or input. I am only interested in your opinions, not those of your family or confidants and such. It's also why Aerith isn't here as well, even though she is technically the one paying the dues, if you would. Uh, I'd originally hoped to have this conversation after we took Bateau, and I'd make sure everybody has like a nice thing of whiskey or whatever, like our fine spirits are. This is an occasion. And it's like I was hired to assist with Jacques. I believe the primary goal was safely returning your family to you, with a side goal of retaking your former county. However, that has changed as of late. While that is still the letter of our contract, I now have a larger obligation to make sure that Alvarez, the Empire, no longer exists, or at the very least is not able to project force in anywhere near Savona's borders, and preferably not outside of its own territory. That changes the criteria of this assignment. And Jacques, while you are indirectly my client, I do work for you and I work for your interests. I would be remiss to not remind every one of our allies how useful Elijah has been towards our shared goals, how we would not be in our current situation if it were not for the skills of him and his employees, and how even your son would not be alive and have his freedom without the contributions of Elijah and his men. You, too, are the Alvarez representatives for our group. You are the two with a vested interest in the future of these people and whatever might remain of this empire once we are through with it. And while I have no opinion on your culture or your government or how you wish to run yourselves once we break off however many pieces of the empire that we are able, but I believe that you two need to at least open a conversation, if not come to an agreement on what that will mean for the future of your people. I know that there are many things that are at the core of your culture, the Ascended, the Blessed, the Empress, that my mission will not allow me to leave until they are removed from the material plane. And in order to have a clear objective and a clear goal, I believe it would be best to know what this empire is going to look like at the end of the day, whether there are still going to be people like the Mayor of Villaplanche who are going to be responsible for governorship duties, whether there are going to be any more blessed or ascended, whether you're going to dispose of that process entirely, whether you're going to expand it to the common people. All that I care about is at the end of the day, the Empress and everybody who would care to follow her to defile the Protectorate of Savona is no longer in power. What you do with the nation once she and hers are removed is of little interest to me, but you need to have this conversation. and he would just drink and sit back and just moderate. Who would like to go first?
What are your plans with the blessed and the rituals that make them, Elijah?
Blessed as they are no longer acceptable. They have become corrupt. They follow blindly. They abuse their power. And they see everyone and everything beneath them as worthless. That is not acceptable in my eyes. All people have worth. But I do not believe that the process itself should be completely destroyed. There can be great purpose and use in the process. In having people that are ascended, but not considered blessed like Alvarez does. People who have power to do what must be done, but do not blindly follow and abuse that power. I would like to take the process and create a new people, create a new legion from all walks. Hopefully, if I can refine the process, a safer one, but one that is repurposed to actually serve the nation, not control it. Ruling is not my interest. Who takes control, who handles the day to day, and who mayors, and none of that matters to me. What I am after is taking those of us who have been seen as expendable tools and showing their worth. If we can do some of what others consider good along the way, good. But I am not exactly known for my morality. So perhaps at some point there should be oversight. But I will not let the process die. What is your plan?
That thought has gone through my mind since we spoke with the mayor in Ville. I wish to see the Empire's people freed, for them to live what life they choose and not have to answer or be afraid of the looming shadow of the Empress and her counts, viscounts. If the Blessed can be reformed in the loosest sense, I suppose, I would be for it. I never saw a true problem with that ritual, except it seemed slightly barbaric with how it affected its people, how the process eventually went. But it wasn't, it's not an inherently evil thing. I I wish to see, as I've said, the people free. They deserve these life to to live. I just wish to see them free. Do I wish to rule? No. I don't do this to see myself sitting on a throne in the capital being called emperor. I don't know what will become of the empire when we are done with this, and when the empress is disposed, and at the moment, the outcome of that isn't really important to me. I wish for my family to be safe. I wish for my people, Bateau, and those now that follow us, and for you all to be safe and enjoy your lives after this. It's really all. It's simple, naive, but it is what I stick to now.
It is naive, but that does not mean that it's flawed. You will have to choose the successor even if you do not do it yourself. You know this.
Understand. And we will we will burn that bridge when we come to it. For the
Indeed.
moment, we are leagues away from that decision. So that one can wait for the time being.
There's actually much to contemplate on that currently, because of some of our other allies in particular. Uh, Elijah, I would assume that you have no love for the Mayor of Villaplanche.
Oh no. He will die.
He currently leads about a third of the forces that are loyal to our cause that we will need in order to take Bateau.
Indeed.
But if we do not wish to show him loyalty in the long term, which I feel no obligation towards, we promised him rulership of the county of Bateau, but if there is no county of Bateau, then we have promised him nothing. We should have a plan in place to get rid of him one way or the other and replace his loyal officers with ones that are loyal to us. Uh, there is a messy way, which I know that you would probably prefer, but then there is also a slightly cleaner way of putting him on a boat to Asarius. I'm sure that Eris Master would find some use for his kind of cunning. Uh, but then there's also the fact of, does there need to be a ruler when the Empress is unseated? We have another ally who comes from a kingless nation. That their propaganda, while I doubt its merits for the long term health of any society, is very impressionable towards the impoverished of a nation. And we could
Indeed.
definitely use his talents to convert many of the populace to that ideology, but it comes with the downside of, when all is said and done, if his words take root, they might not allow for a king to sit on a throne at the end of it. And that is a risk that you will need to weigh before we let him loose upon this populace, upon your people and your culture, because he will destroy it. It's just a matter of how
Have
much
you
you treasure that.
have you seen the handouts, the flyers, the newsletters he has been receiving? He has been let loose.
He has not yet. That is within the slaves that we currently have control over and are more than willing to fight for our cause. Once we get to Bateau, that will be a different matter entirely. And
When it comes to the mindset and how the UDDC is run, I personally do not see much problems with it.
I'm,
There is
yeah,
there is shortcomings, but there is refreshing benefits to it. It seems already, though, his mindset and ideologies have seeped their way into your thinking, Elijah, with how you aim with the blessed.
Perhaps. But the blessed themselves will not answer to that nation.
Just to be clear, I'm not cautioning against it. I think it could be a very useful tool. But there are side effects, and I want you to go in with them with your eyes wide open to the possible ramifications. It is your people
If
and your
there is
culture.
no
And
if there is no empire after this, and one is not constructed, and there is no emperor or empress after this, and the people are allowed to lead themselves, I would see that as the one true victory
Then
for
then I would recommend that we give
Alvarez.
Minsk as many resources as he requires, as that might be our most potent tool for recruitment, based on the history of the UDDC.
I agree.
Very well. Elijah,
I see no flaw in it as long as we are allowed to continue my mission.
that would be a conversation amongst your people. I have no part in that. Uh, as for the mayor, please do not make any moves until after Bateau is secured, but once it is secured, if we can have lieutenants more loyal to our cause, ready to replace his commanders of his units, and then if you two can decide whether it would be best to dispose of him and his, or to ship them off somewhere where they can do no damage, I leave that choice in both of your hands, but you need to begin planning for it now, before he catches wind that we are not going to adhere to the spirit of our law, of our agreement.
Oh, plans are already in place and in motion.
I would like
Oh,
Jacques to be aware and to agree to them.
oh, well, Joke, I'm sorry, plans are already in motion. Um, I may have been doing things, small things, behind your back already. My apologies. I think that the head of his city guard might be an apt replacement. She is well loved by the troops that follow her, which is a great many of the people.
We need to
Um,
understand as we continue this conversation that there is more ramifications than just removing him. He is
of
not
course.
he is not a simple entity. There is his wife and his children. I would not ever state that we remove him in the most permanent fashion. He's not one to be trusted. He does seek higher ends, but I would much prefer if it was simply him being put somewhere where he could not cause us any trouble.
As I said, morality is not my strong suit. It is fine with me what you just choose to do with him. I will let his death pass me by.
I
I
doubt.
do think the head of his city guard would be an apt replacement, though. And I have some steps and some people that I could contact to lend her support amongst the populace.
And I doubt that Aerith would allow us to murder his children if that is what you are implying.
No, she wouldn't. That woman would try to fry me alive.
Oh, indeed. Uh, I will discuss with her about places where he can be put for his retirement. Although I do caution it will need to be a secure cage, as that man will try to come back and
A wily individual, persistence. I have known him a lot longer than you. Make it 2 cages.
understood. Now, I believe that that is the gist of it. Uh,
Carte, you have a bad nosebleed right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, my pawn was laying out. What? What? Why? Why does he have a bad nosebleed?
Did you
Right
not
after
catch
he
that
said
joke,
2 cages, it
Oh.
started running down his face.
Did you not catch that joke, Lo?
No, I caught it. I was just
Okay.
like, have you been secretly making like detect thoughts rolls? Like,
Um, yeah, with all that, Jacques will sort of like he'll take his glass and he'll raise it up and he'll just go to the continuing persecution of this conflict and for a better tomorrow.
here, here.
To waking up one more day.
Thank you all for what. Thank you two for what you have done. Elijah, I am in your debt. Persistence. You have kept me very much on a swivel when it comes to these matters.
I'm only doing my job, sir. Clink my glass, down it, and then I will head off to confer with Aerith.
I'll head off to confer with our boss.
Okay. What has Aerith been doing in this time? I think you said previously you were working at your hospital with the wounded to get them back on their feet. Is Aerith with us?
She is muted. No, she
Oh
said be
no,
right back a
not
while ago, so
muted.
probably,
Okay.
Ah,
yeah,
dang.
probably Minsk
This is the
or
perfect. This is the
Tenless.
perfect moment. We draw a mustache on our character's face. What happens when you AFK?
Am I being referenced?
What's that ability in WoW? What's what? Life grip?
Yeah, life grip.
You
Yeah.
shut your mouth.
Start life
It's
gripping.
technically leap of faith, but nobody calls it that.
What
Was
makes
it
you
leap
leap?
of
That's for
faith
sure.
always? I thought it was like.
It's always been leap of faith. Nobody has ever called it that for a single day of their life.
It's always been life grip.
Yeah.
It does
Except
cause you
for
to leap.
except when it is involved with me, and then it's just friendly death grip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She did say BRB.
She did, so she's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, let's see. Does Elijah want to talk to Arbaz?
Sure, I can do that real quick. It's the short convo.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Oh.
fill him in
She's
on.
now back.
Oh well, there we go. Never mind. Bye bye.
Aerith, we discussed murdering children. Where were you?
That's why I left. I knew I was gonna come to murdering children, and I had to leave.
Oh, okay.
We voted not to because of you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought about you, and we're like, we can't do this. We'll do it
I
when she
would-
gets back.
we'll murder children when she's here, so the emotional weight really just hits home.
Uh,
How it's supposed to.
so Thur, what scene would you like to proceed to?
I mean, if Arbaz, are you just filling Arbaz in with what happened?
I'm gonna fill him in on what happened and then be like, continue to gather the brothers, continue to build our forces, and put an emphasis on unraveling what secrets we have of the transformation. I know that we all remember some things. Gather what we know together in a report and bring it to me. I would like to start putting together our own ascended before this war is complete, if possible.
Hmm.
And if we need a new patron, because, and I'm gonna like very briefly fill him in on that dream that I had.
The dreams you had?
Yeah, especially the one where I was in the guy's house.
Uh-huh.
Um, I may have a few ideas
Okay.
as to what and who could supply for us.
Hmm. I think I know a guy.
Good.
Okay, and that's it.
Yep, and that's it.
just made a note to myself to write that report.
Appreciate it.
Um, okay, so then Persistence is going to go and talk to Aerith.
Yes. Where would I find her?
She's probably with the medical unit.
I would probably wait until later in the evening then. So I don't want to distract her. I know that's important to her, and this is not time sensitive.
Yeah, she'd roll up after. Hey, Persistence. Where did everyone go earlier?
Uh, was actually willing. I would have given you a brief thing of like I'm gonna have a talk with them. Like I would not keep that from you. You are my employer. Uh, so probably just
Don't darkly chuckle in the background. uh, then I'd change it. She'd be like, um, Persistence. How did the talks go?
I think it went well. And he would sort of shut the door, do another hell sight thing, make sure there's no like it was while waiting for her, he would have done like a bug sweep and all that stuff. So it's like I think that they came to an understanding uh, of what they wish this country to look like once they're done with it. Elijah wishes to continue the Blessed in a more reformed state, and Jacques is not interested in there being a king or an emperor left when all this is done, which I think will mesh very well with what Minx's particular talents are. But there is something that we do need from you.
Oh,
Uh, we promised the mayor the county of Bateau when this was all over. However, we have decided that after, or the county of Montauban after this is over. However, we have decided that after Bateau is taken, there will no longer be a county system, so to speak, which means that the mayor will get nothing, which means that we need him out of our hair. Now, I know how loath you would be to have him and his family murdered wholesale. Just kind of like kiss her hand as he says that, just like very tauntingly. Uh, so I suggested that once Bateau is secure, we get the mayor and his family passage to Osarius and send him to your king, who can hopefully make use of somebody with the mayor's guile and wit in a place where he is no danger to us.
do you need me to write to His Majesty?
I, if you believe that that is a wise course of action, then it is what we would recommend. The alternative, of course, would be murdering the father and then having to find some place to put the family, which I know that I did not consult you on, but I assume that you are very much opposed to.
You know, I wouldn't be too thrilled if you're killing kids.
So yes, that is, I believe, something that you could be very much help us with. In removing the mayor from the field once Bateau is gone, Elijah will handle replacing his subordinates with uh, commanders who are both competent and loyal to the new cause and not just their own personal glory.
All right. Draft the letter. Anton doesn't like to be surprised. Um, it's actually incredibly hard to surprise that man. Um, hmm. Is there anything else you need from me, Persistence?
At the moment, no, though let me know if my services are required. Oh, also, we executed all of the stormtroopers.
I good. Fuck 'em.
Thought you'd feel that way. Uh, yes, that is the gist of it.
All right. I'm glad I'm in the know. Yeah. Then once again, unfortunately, I'm just here to help where I can. As long, I'll step in if we're killing kids, but everything else is up to those who actually live here, and I'm all right with that.
And your wishes when it comes to the safety of children is understood loud and clear. So you have no threat from me on that.
Good. And she laughs and pulls out. She sits at the desk and pulls out. And she starts to draft a letter. I will write that and send
Uh,
that to you.
while you are writing for that assistance from the mayor, uh, it's actually another matter that I was curious if you would ask your king about. Uh, now that this is turning in, Persistence would look actually a bit more nervous about this one. It was like, now when this contract was initially formed, uh, I was going to be helping with this rebellion. It had a very sort of narrow set of criteria: rescue Jock's family, uh, possibly in the course of that take Bateau. But this has quickly turned from a what we would usually classify a suicide mission into a full-scale military campaign. And while I have done my best to improve myself on the topic, and he would hold up one of the uh, while he did not have his powers, he was probably busying himself by reading as many books on military strategy as he could. Because I assume the Kasani Public
How
Library figured out
how
how
to
to.
how
Yeah,
to lead people with no devil powers.
yeah, kinda. And because I would assume that the Kasani people would have figured out like a way to fold a book so that it technically just counts as a letter, so that they can lend things through a diplomat's pouch. That just seems like something they would have figured out. Not like,
Figured out bookbinding.
well, not even bookbinding, just like origami and just like a pamphlet, but it's got like a couple 60 pages instead of just a few. Uh, that just seems like something they would do. Uh, and he's been reading up. This is something that Arif would definitely notice. Probably not everybody else because this is in his private time, but just like reading a lot of books on military strategy and history. And like, but now that this is a full military campaign, I've tried to educate myself as best as possible. But I must admit, I do not think that uh, your cause is most competently served by the help that you currently have, and I was curious if you would ask your king to perhaps find another contract for a sort of more skilled military commander, either from Savona, though I know that their resources are focused on bigger issues, or possibly even from the Gold Pact or a different contractor. I just do not believe that my skills are up to this task to command an entire army, uh, despite the successes that we have had as of yet. And he just
Her
sniggers.
fingers begin to lightly drum on the tabletop as she listens.
Yes, it's a request. If you feel like that is not a proper use of your king's resources, I understand, but I would recommend it in my professional opinion.
I feel like the room would smell a little bit like ozone. And
Weird.
she'd sit there for a while. She's a lightning cleric. No,
I feel.
no backwards comment. No peanut gallery commentary, please.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure that thaumaturgy would cover that. I think you
That's
can
true.
make the room smell like ozone if you want to.
She also has an aura. If people hit her,
Yeah.
like, and she's mad. She is not
We can
pleased.
let the storm cleric have a little bit of ozone.
Yeah.
As a treat.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, as she's listening, her fingers would drum against the tabletop, and she'd tilt her head, and she's like, "Persistence. From when we first hired you to now, you have done exceptionally well. But on top of that, I've seen you grow. Um, like you've become something a little different. I know you don't see it, or maybe you do. I think it is in our best benefit now to have someone we know and trust than have someone new coming in.
It's just, if I can be frank, Aerith.
Know your name's Persistence, but anyways, please continue.
Yes, thank you. If I
You also get a nosebleed.
this is not something that I have trained for. This is something that should be handled by a professional. While we do have skilled people as allies, Elijah is an assassin, Minsk is a propagandist, Noctum is insane, and if Sir Cartier was a competent general, he would still be in the employ of Alvarez. I do not wish to leave this
Damn.
to the chance of who
Oh,
the people
fuck
currently
you.
assembled. This is far too important for that. They have attacked the Protectorate. This is above us now.
What's that
I'm
saying?
fucking
You said,
insulted.
shut the fuck. You are not here.
I was so
I can
happy when I
sense
came
the
up with that
vibes. I'm
line.
gonna give Persistence an intense migraine right now.
She stands, which is not impressive because she's
Yeah.
like 5'2".
Come up to my titties. Yeah.
Pinch those nipples, make them cry.
Not yet.
And she stands up and she goes, I distinctly remember you said something to me a couple weeks back about titles. Do you remember that conversation, Persistence?
I believe I do, but I'm not sure how it's applicable to this situation.
It's applicable because you just said it's outgrown us. It has. But guess what? In that conversation, you told me that my title, even though I didn't feel like I fit it, was the best title for me for the people. We can't step down now, Persistence. Unfortunately, we have become our titles. We have become our banners. We have become the faces that people expect. If things get hard and we just step away, what does that look like to everyone else?
I am not saying that I would abandon this cause. I would remain here. I would carry out my duties. I would do things to the best of my ability and make sure that this is carried out. But I just feel that there should be somebody who is trained in this to make sure that the task is accomplished. I want to see your mission carried out. I want to see this successful. I want to protect Savona, and I do not believe that I am the one who can do that.
And why not?
This isn't what I was trained for. This isn't what I'm in. I'm a mercenary. I'm not a general.
And I'm a bloody, basically insane cleric. And I'm here. Shit, I was made the fucking treasurer of a country. Of a kingdom. We are worth more than anyone bargained for. Oh, sorry. I've been listening to Hamilton a lot this weekend. But we're worth more. Then we have more potential than what we're giving us credit for. Yes, would asking for assistance be nice? But the world is also on fire. They're doing their own things. Savona is burning. Persistence. And as of right now, you have the clearest shot to making a difference. Fuck your training. You have to listen. I know your heart's saying that your training's not enough. But it is. You've trained your whole life to fight Persistence, and what are we doing? We're fighting in back alleys. We're sieging bloody cities. We are meant for this. I don't know if you believe in fate, but we wouldn't be here if all the circumstances hadn't lined up. Now, am I scared fucking shitless? Yeah. Do I wish to return home to my temple where I'm safe and I can watch, other lost souls or whatever? Yeah. But we're here and we can make a difference. And the people look to us. They look to Minx for the newspaper and the hope that his insufferable accordion brings. They look to you to being this fiery, charismatic twat. Jacques is a broken man right now. But I believe in him. I know the great leader is still in there somewhere. It's just a little lost right now. And you're right about Tenos. He's fucking crazy. But he was also a count. He also led armies. We have the history. We have the experience. We have the know-how. It's just scary right now. And I think if this is gonna sound fucking stupid, but if we believe and do our best, that is all they can ask of us. But if you'd like me to call in someone else, I can definitely ask. And she sits back down.
Can you make a persuasion check before you sit down?
Persuasion.
A
She's
persuasion.
fucking shit at that.
A nat 1.
I feel like you should get advantage from all of that.
Bloody governor.
Was a fantastic speech.
Oh, thank you.
It was.
But
I liked
DC's
it.
not
Good
high.
job.
I don't know.
Bloody
Sorry.
amazing.
Oh, thanks. I've been working on. Why is my keyboard bad? It won't let me do it with advantage, but that was an 8. Hold on. That was not with advantage.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go. Advantage just means add 10.
Yeah.
Your teeth fall out of your head, persistence.
So before you sit down, Persistence just like take that in, look at you, and it's like, permission to act freely.
Granted.
He would kiss you,
Oh,
Now your teeth fall out.
Oh.
and then would step back and hold up his book and say, "I have to return to studying," and walk over to his chair in the corner and just start reading.
Why are you in love with this fucking nerd?
She would blink twice. And like tilt her head a little bit, like that actually fucking worked. And sit back down. And write and draft the letter to Anton.
That was incredible. That whole sequence was incredible. Well done. I am in awe of both of you.
I basically blacked out through all of that. Oh, it's fine.
And there is the outcome of the mental crisis that Persistence has been having.
Also, sorry he read you for filth, Jacques.
Would you say that his thoughts now are, okay, so we're doing this?
Yep, basically. It's like, all right, we're in for
What
it.
would your brother do?
Probably wouldn't have even kissed. Would have just fucked. And probably not Aerith. Probably Minsk.
You probably wouldn't have had this crisis.
Probably just the ruby rod.
Yeah.
I'm... Alright, now I have some regrets.
Glad he's dead.
You're now
I have
disturbed.
one regret.
I
There are
have-
no
I have made-
rules.
I have made mistakes in my life.
I gave my brother very little characterization besides Playboy and dead.
I was there on the mission that we
Good
captured
character,
Jock.
dude.
Jock had no chance.
No. I was so
Yeah.
I thought of that line last night and I was like, oh, I need to work that in somehow.
Bastard.
I even remember Fox detailing methods of torture that necessitated no actual torture being required.
Yep.
Sometimes intimidation is all you need.
And Persistence still
That's
like
the bar,
Jock,
baby.
Jock is still his employer. Like he's not going to not follow what Jacques says, but it's very much a case of like, all right, this was a little mission, but I just need to do a contract to. Oh, now this matters. Now this matters, and he's here with these like non-Savonan things where he's the most professional one. It's like, oh gods.
Are you telling me I have to do one more of those tonight? Because I have to have the conversation with
If every
Jacques
time for
still.
shock,
You do. You do.
you got another
Uh,
in you.
would you like a small break, or do you just want to keep rolling?
Would you like a cigarette? Nash, get her a cigarette.
Nah,
to.
we stop with cigarettes. We're the vape nation now.
Oh
Yeah,
gods.
I need to introduce.
Why does everything smell like cotton candy and ozone?
Yeah, have you
How
noticed
dare
that I
you,
don't? Have you
Orange
noticed that I
Mango.
don't take smoke breaks as often anymore?
And
You
you
know
cannot.
that's right. Yeah.
It's
And
because
can
I'm
you
thinking about
not?
my
I'm
desk.
proud of you.
What
I-
if this?
And
I
can you not hear
assumed-
him rip Great Clouds during recording? I hear
I
it
wish
all the
they could.
time.
I'm not
Just
gonna
rips
lie.
the
I had
back
heard
cloud.
that, and I thought that it was an inhaler, and I thought that
Nope.
he was having like asthma issues.
Nope.
That's
It,
his
I
name?
wasn't
It's
commenting
taken
on it
me-
because my sister has to do that, and I didn't want to be a dick.
nope. It's taken me 8 months to go from the highest nicotine content down to a 0.
Nice.
Hell
And I
yeah.
am 2 steps from a 0 as well.
Sweet
Go
root beer
team.
freedom.
Woo,
I once
cheers,
surprised
bro.
the
I'll drink to
hell
that.
out of one of my customers at Starbucks. They offered me weed, and I said, "Oh no, I don't do that." And he just looked at me and looked around the store and said, "Like, really?" He
funny.
could not believe it. The dude was named Shaggy, so he was confused in a lot more ways than one.
It wasn't him.
Nope, not that Shaggy.
Break Scoops, I'm having a thing here.
He wore a
Oh,
big jacket in the same color as Shaggy's shirt and had like the same facial hair and hair. Like the
Zoink,
I mean, if
Scoob.
I was named Shaggy, I would too, right?
yeah,
Like,
he played
Just lean
into it.
into it.
Gotta
You
agree.
sure it wasn't Matthew Lillard?
That's called fucking branding, dude.
No, he had a bit more bulk than Matthew Lillard. Also, I was not frightened that at any point he would focus on me too hard and my bones would liquefy.
Ugh, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, do you want to break, Aaron? You want to break? Or
I
just
kid
roll
you
in the
not.
punches?
It's seeds like that. I legitimately just open my mouth and hope for the best. I can
Well, we
feel
just
the
roll with it
charisma
then.
roll. So let's
It's gonna
go.
be a few hours, give her time, and then
Ugh.
Doc's gonna talk.
She would actually for the Jacques conversation because she now knows his little. Well, they're
He
left.
listened into Godwin throwing cutlery and plates and mugs at him.
Do we want to wait for
Persistence
her?
would have made that all those like broken plates would be brought to somebody with mending to repair. Cause it's like we cannot afford to waste good china.
Our plates.
Also, why is it called China? That's a weird word. Where did it come from? Somebody contact the Kasani.
Where did you go?
Where did it come from?
Continent Nigeria.
The
I can give
Kasani
you, I
would
can
know.
give you a new word instead of China if you want.
Where did you come from? Kasani
Just say
Nigeria.
porcelain, like it's.
That's why I said porcelain.
Yeah.
Oh
Never
man.
said China at all in it.
So
No.
while we're waiting for Thurin, I posted this in the group chat thing. I made a spreadsheet of all of the units we currently have access to. We just leveled up, and our proficiency bonus went up, so we can each command a number of troops equal to our proficiency bonus. The army as a whole can also have one less tier 2 unit than we have tier 1 units, and then one less tier 3 unit than we have tier 2 units, so it's like a pyramid where just you need to have one less of each lower tier. We have 9 tier 1 units. Some of these are temporary because they're levies, some of them are temporary because of diplomacy, and then the Noctim ones, the warriors and the swamp hunters, I assume are temporary because they're going to want to go back to the swamp. But we definitely should, as we think of what to do with our diplomacy turns moving forward, think of what kind of units that you guys, now that we've done our martial advantages, want to have under your command. And also story-wise, what kind of troops you'd like to be leading. So,
Yeah. Later on, my benefits will include scout units, which I hope is whenever I start bringing in, whole units of assassins. But for now, I really want artillery and archers.
Yep. And I want infantry. Uh, I'm not sure if anybody else has specific criteria. I also don't know if like the chain breakers and the Marines are going to stick with us the whole way, because I know that Minsk is definitely. I assume that like Minsk is easy. Minsk is going to want to. Aether. I was just going over the spreadsheet thing that I made and just recommending that people start thinking about what units they want to do.
Okay. Yeah, you guys seem to have everything well in hand, so I just took a quick bio.
We literally, as soon as you left, we were like, "All right, well now, Thur, you were gone."
Oh, I thought Aerith was going to talk
Wow.
to Jacques.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what we're about to do.
Well, yeah, but
All
Yeah.
right.
Um, but for units, I just think, I think under mine it's just infantry. I really like my healers, so I'm gonna
I
Mhm.
keep them.
my
Yeah, they're yours.
recommendation for you would be like the healing unit to give like the wand of healing to. It's technically needs to be on an artillery thing, so in the back line, and then if you because the back line also has infantry, so if you want to handle like the rear guard, so to
Yeah,
speak, yeah,
give me the last the air quotes last line of defense.
yeah,
That is what I want.
okay.
That is what
Give
I
me the
am.
last of
That
us.
is what Aerith would want as well.
What, what
Sh-
yeah, what I was basically imagining was Aerith backline, uh, Elijah take care of artillery, uh, Sel or Noctem and Jacques would do like the cavalry, uh, and then Minsk and Persistence would do the front line of probably Minsk doing some of the artillery as well, but Persistence is very much a front line sort of character for commanding. I also get a benefit that gives infantry and cavalry harrowing, which is something that undead already have. So even though it would thematically make sense for me and Noctum to have the undead units, I don't give as much benefit to them, funnily enough.
Once we get deep to my benefits, I get to put scout on light infantry, which means I just get to position our light infantry in their rear,
Yeah. So
which is gonna be brutal.
yeah, Aerith is definitely built as a defense. Like she wants the defensive line.
but yeah, think of what you would want to recruit from just the things. I assume that most of us have very very firm themes for what we want. And then I'll definitely talk with you, Thur, about like what kind of mercenaries and such.
Mine are definitely pretty general, but there's definitely a theme of you want a high tier infantry.
Yep.
Or I mean a high tier cavalry, I should say.
Oh yeah. And you have the headless hunt. And you're gonna have those other ones once we deliver the bell. So, and you can
Mm-hmm.
definitely take the flame skulls. So I think that's definitely your nation. We can each have 5 or 4.
I mean, you can probably have the flame skulls, I think. I don't know.
I don't gain any benefits from aerials, and if you don't gain benefits for specific unit types,
I don't
then
get anything from aerials.
I know, but I do gain
That's why I
benefits
wasn't really
for
excited about recruiting aerials. I was like, eh.
yeah. So
But it is pretty great that you can kind of make 2 of them.
I think that's definitely the
Yeah,
best
but
part.
once I can get these like tier 3 cavalry, there'll be a better duplicate probably.
Potentially. Yeah. Yeah, but that's enough vamping. Aerith, you're back on stage.
Oh dear. Yeah. So yeah, she would have heard. She would have listened to the silverware and the plates being thrown. But she wouldn't approach him immediately. She would actually be waiting when the time she found him last time, sitting in the moonlight in the training room, training hall with a jug. Just, or it's an open space. She's outside, whatever. Uh, with a jug hanging off of her fingers, she just like sits and waits for you.
He walks up and sees the jug, sets his sword and shield. He doesn't have his sword or shield with him. At the moment he's not donned in his full armor. States enjoying the entire contents of that alone?
No, I thought I'd bring it along just to it's just some reminiscing job. Why don't you sit down? She like pats the ground next to her.
Sit down.
So I'm not saying that I'm nosy, but I heard. Do you want to
Did
talk
you
about it?
know? Difficult to say what there is to talk about. Needless to say, it's been a rough few days, I guess.
Aye.
We won, heavily thanks to you. You saved a lot of people's lives, including mine.
That's what I do.
Without, if you weren't there, if you minks weren't there, I don't think there wouldn't have been anything for you to have heard.
He passes him the
So
jug.
thank you.
I
I'm gonna take a sniff of it first before I take a swig.
surprise, it's water.
Ah,
Alright, all jokes aside, and she pulls out a second jug that she had sitting.
surprise! I got the alcohol right here.
Listen, Jack, I made you a promise before we came all this way that I'd be with you to the end. That wasn't your end.
Good. I was expecting a very large but statement to occur there.
No. There's nothing more devastating than watching, than looking into your child's eyes and seeing the no recognition, the hate, the confusion, the pain. There's nothing that can compare to that feeling. It leaves a staggering hole ripped right through your stomach. It's like you're falling in a pit, but the pit's endless and it's inside of you. Am I close?
I'd stared death down many a time. On the battlefield, against Sherard, against monstrosities and adventurers in Azarius. Nothing hurt as much as what he had said. Because he was right. I've been abhorrently selfish about all of this.
But, Jock, that's the folly and the beauty of mortality. You didn't know. You did your best. And it was selfish, aye. I'll give you that. But 90% of our actions are selfish. That's what it means to be self. You know?
I think the biggest thing that brought it into perspective was speaking with the captain of that stormtrooper unit that surrendered to us. Blackwood was doing what he was doing, trying to turn my son into one of those blessed for him role, with the entire mindset that it would be a weapon used against me. And then immediately knowing that would be used as a means with all of my family. My wife is in the capital, unable to be saved by the quick redemption of Elijah or Arbaz. My daughter's in the wind. I know not truly where either of them are. And I know deep down at the end of all of this, if anything were to happen to them for this, it is my fault and lies on me. It's not a burden I wish to put on them. I don't wish to put the burden of this rebellion on any of you. This is not truly your war. Well, maybe its persistence is now.
I'd bloody well say it's
The
mine.
empires.
You're my friend, Jock. And your family was taken. And I know for a fucking fact, if I looked at you right now and said, they have my family, that you would grab your sword and you'd grab your shield and you'd ask no questions. And you'd march with me to the gates of wherever the fuck I needed to be. And you'd rip those gates down with your bare hands. Why can't I do the same for you?
I can't bear now to see any of you all injured
Oh,
for my fight.
Chuck, what? If we had stayed where we were going to stay, we were going to get injured anyways. That's just living. And I would rather be injured helping a friend for a just cause. For potentially getting closer to my own son. If it meant that these people are free, if it meant that your family is safe, if it means that I can be here for you. We've known each other for bloody well long enough. And I promised before we made this journey, I shouted it through His Majesty's halls, that I would follow you until the end of the road. And I do mean that, swear.
Thank you.
Now, on a lighter note, just for a second, if you fucking tell anyone that I have a son, I'll kill you myself.
I believe I have a few more questions other than you having children.
She laughs. She gives you all that threat was given with a grin.
Let me see if I can find. If there was a handout for it.
What are you looking for?
The stuff about Urbana.
Uh, let's see. I don't know that there's a
It was in
handout
the
on
newsletter.
Opana.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't find that.
I can't wait until we can go to that Nightshade Court. It'll be so
Okay.
exciting.
Well, we'll go back to that later once we know more information of that. But you are a. I'm very grateful to know you, Aerith. Your secret is safe with me. As a father of three, I have to keep a lot of information away from many people. So fear not.
No, but I think in a small part, in a different part, I understand how you feel. It was a selfish action on my part that led to the separation of my son and I. And I tried to find him once, and I did, but he didn't recognize me. And it's different, I know, but I just need you to know that I'm here. It's shit if we need to sit in this training ground every night for the next 6 months during this campaign, or whatever training ground we find ourselves on. I forget that we're moving soon. And just sit. I will. I'll tell you pirate stories. I can tell you about. We can talk about the shenanigans Jacob and I used to get into. You were there for quite a few of those.
Stories that you regale Blanchard's kids with.
I listen. You're wounded, and not on the outside, but on the inside. And the best wounds, the best thing for wounds on the inside, is someone who cares. So I can't fix the problem with your son, and I wouldn't know how.
We've made progress. That was better than I expected. It'll take him time.
It will, and I don't blame him. He's confused, and he was almost just tired to do like. And she does like the 2-finger fang thing, and like I'm not sure I'd know how to cope with that
He,
either.
I don't know either. If it had happened, if something awful had happened to him, I don't think I would be sitting here with you right now.
But you are, and nothing did. We made it in time, Jacques. And if we're a little more well planned, frankly, we'll do the same for the rest of your family. Now, you know me. I'm not one to making promises that I'm not sure the outcome of, but I promise that I will do my best to always be there on time. I cannot promise that I will be on time, but I can promise to do my best. And if you'd like me to talk to the boy, I know I don't look it. Well, maybe I do. But I am his age. If he needs someone to talk to that is his age, I promise I won't narc to either him or you on each other.
Puts a, he like feigns a, he just like puts a hand on his chest and feigns shock. He just goes, I didn't realize I'd already become that old.
It's my youthful appearance, really. I think it's the ears, and she like pokes her elf ears. Hey, but he's going to need someone to talk to. He's alone. And persistence, well, persistence looks like persistence. And the
Thought you were
same
going to say
goes.
that the biggest fear would be that the first one to get to him would be Noctum.
That was my second one. I was just saying persistence is persistent. He's a grouchy man. There's persistence. Um, Feel free to just roast him real fast, because he roasted you earlier. No, she wouldn't say that. Uh, and Tennellis is, well, and Elijah is kind of what he's afraid of right now. Not that Elijah would hurt him, but what Elijah represents, it might be a little traumatizing for him. Poor boy.
I understand.
I say boy, we're the same age. It's life experiences. But if just know I'm here. I don't want to see you wasting yourself on drink. By the way, drink some more water. This is a prescription from your doctor. I don't want to see you wasting yourself on drink and regret. This training in the middle of the night, drunk, doesn't actually help your body in any way. Just so you know.
It helped
Yeah.
me get a lot of my rage.
Next time you want to hit someone, I'm right here. We can brawl. That's nothing.
I don't believe you know the depths of rage that was boiling through me in Bateau when we were rescuing Godwin.
I don't pretend to
I
know.
was. I fear how close I was to just charging in there up to Blackwood.
I would have followed. Or I
Sort
would
of,
have dragged you out by your ear.
he just holds out his hand, and you see like little golden sparks of his magic sort of dance around, and he's just commanding him to kneel.
She would wrinkle her nose at that a little. Go, well, I don't condone the use of the command spell, but you do happen to follow a god of free will. And I don't think he classifies that monster as a person.
And maybe that's where my naivete hits me too strong. Because through all of this war and conflict, I still see them as people.
No, that's not naivety. You just have a good heart. One that I wish more people had. But unfortunately, the people we're facing don't have your heart, Jack. Though they want it. Aye, but they don't have it. In the literal or, spiritual sense. But that's what makes you special. That is that's what makes you qualified to lead us. You've got a good heart and a good brain. Your head on your shoulders is a little askew right now. But I believe in you. The rest of us are blinded by one grief or the other, and right now, so are you. But that's what makes you human. That's what makes you immortal. What? And she pokes him in the chest. Your heart is what's going to lead us to victory. You believe in people. You want to save people. People will follow that. There's a real bullshit saying it's better to be feared than to be loved. I disagree. Look at what fear has done to this country. Look at what fear has done to these people. And look, in the short time what the love and acceptance and freedom that we have brought these people have done to them. We've reunited children with parents. We have saved slaves from slavery. We have moved proverbial mountains for these people. And what have they done? They have turned around and they have picked up swords and they have picked up shields and they have fought in the name that we have given them. The orcs lost their lives for us because we gave them a purpose. And you see like tears start to well in her eyes as she looks at you rather fiercely. She's like, I need you to not fucking give up, alright? Because the second you give up, the second you fall to grief, the second you fall to ruin, that is it. We're done. Might as well pack up and go home and leave this country and your family to them. So don't you dare give up on me, alright? She turns her head away, brushes her face real fast.
Put my hand on her shoulders, kiss her forehead, like a fatherly kind of way. Just thinking, that is precisely what I needed to hear. Thank you. Go get some
bloody
rest.
well mention it. You're not gonna hear it again. And she gets up. She playfully kicks at his shin and just walks off into the night, leaving him both jugs, one on each side. A decision.
Just he takes the jug full of water, takes another drink, hands it back to her.
No, she left you both you
Oh,
both jugs to make a decision. It is a moment for Jacques. It is his decision time. Does he choose the alcohol jug or does he choose the water jug?
a jug full of water, and he takes a drink, and he walks back inside, leaving the alcohol jug on the lawn.
Yeah. Whew. All right, I'm done, y'all. That's it for me. I'm tapping out.
It takes a minute, holds his holy symbol. He looks up at the sky. Stay strong for me, Aurelia. I will move the 9 hells and the 7 mountains to get to you. I swear it. All right, who wants an emotional moment now?
Free.
Free.
I believe Tennis, you had something you wanted to say.
Well, I guess I gotta go get this bell, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
bell time.
Oh, top of the bill.
Now, one thing I want to know
Here's the
is,
bell
I
in
guess I'll
there.
go visit that mayor. And it's like, will you be going to what is this place?
The
What, this
Cathedral of Light.
cathedral? Oh, who cares? Are you going there?
You're asking Mayor Blanchard.
I know he's promised that he's gonna loot the place. I want to know what his plans are.
Yeah, I think he's accompanying his troops to the cathedral to oversee the looting and the guarding of the northern pass, as it were.
Called pillaging.
Yeah.
All right, we're Mayor, why
Hey,
don't
Bateau.
you accompany me in my carriage, would you? I haven't gotten the
gracious.
chance to know you yet.
This
Oh,
is where he kills him.
certainly.
All right.
Out of character, have you guys been introduced?
No.
Okay.
No.
Nope.
So I want to get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my mimic, and with
Uh-huh.
your allowance, I'm going to have Hit be the carriage,
Yeah, I think I'll allow that.
or at least part of the carriage. I don't know with moving parts of a wheel. I don't know.
It's
You
supposed
can
to
be the
be able
top
to
part.
be any object. I mean, I think the carriage is a little bit big, but it could certainly be like the main
It can
body
be
or
part of the
the
carriage. It can
seats.
just be
Yeah.
like the seat in the back or something.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Is it the seat that you're sitting on or the seat that the mayor's sitting on?
Mayor's going to sit on that seat.
Okay.
I'm going to take Gerald with me. And
Okay.
is that necromancer lady here?
Yeah, she would be here.
She can come with me. She should sit next to me. Why not?
Okay.
And then Frederick and Doug will be in the back or something, or like I don't know, outside, whatever, driving it, whatever.
Okay.
All right, now I guess I'm gonna take the headless hunt with me. We're gonna go to the Cathedral of Light, and I
Okay.
guess I don't know if his little dudes have like mounts or something.
I mean, they've got their own skeletal cavalry that can ride with you, and the infantry can follow at a regular marching pace. So you'll be the outriders, the vanguard, as it were, to secure the area immediately. So you guys are riding in your carriage.
What time of day is it? I guess is he
Um,
up?
it probably would be the next day that he's leaving, right? So everybody rest the night and then head out the next day.
Alrighty. So I guess
Yeah.
me and the necromancy lady will be in like the front part, and him and
Uh-huh.
Gerald will be sitting next to each other in the back.
Okay.
And we're gonna take off.
Okay. Let's see.
All right. So as we travel, I'm going to speak with the dead on Gerald.
Oh yeah. Oh
Ge-
yeah.
Gerald, how are you doing today?
Let me just look at the speak with dead spell real quick.
Which one is Gerald? Is Gerald the one that
Gerald is
we
the
took from?
corpse of the angel, right?
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Still have you can ask the corpse up to five questions.
And I have unlimited uses at will.
Okay, so you can just keep uh okay. Under cold truthfully answer if you hostile to it or recognizes you as an enemy. Yeah. Uh he's under no compulsion to answer you truthfully, but he does have to answer.
Yeah, and it also you can only use it once on the same corpse every 10 days. So
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm not worried about the details.
I doubt. I never thought you were. Just want to make that clear.
Uh-huh.
The rules are probably
Um
going to be changing here pretty quick, so we don't have to worry about it too much.
okay. Um let's see, how would he answer that? Trying to think how much. How are you doing today? Uh, pain?
That's understandable. I'm gonna like pull out my little like astral blade. I'm gonna like run it down his chest, and I'm gonna show his chest, and there'll be a brand on his chest. You can speak well. Your soul is bound here. My lady wishes to meet you, Gerald.
That's not a question.
Doesn't matter to me. You can speak freely, Gerald.
I have no wish to speak to you, creature.
All right. Mayor, I don't even know your name. How are you?
Uh, Francois Blanchard at your service. Uh,
I'm Tennis
I'm doing pretty
Nocton.
well, I'd say. Tenuous
I
Noctum.
don't think I've never ever met you.
No, I don't think we have. Are you with Lord Cartier?
Certainly. I'm glad you were able to join us.
Uh, well, yes. I'm happy to help and have the companionship on the road. Um, what exactly is it that you do for Jacques, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we're allies in this conflict. He's my neighbor, so it's only right.
You're, wait, Noctum, like the Meyer
Is
Noctum?
this the realization? Is this the holy crap of how long a week has been?
Probably in the least damage control position possible.
Oh, this is great.
Well,
Um,
I'm named after the place. It's a title handed down, you know.
okay.
I will say this might be news to the mayor. This would not be news to the necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
Persistence
True.
would have you are useful. You will be kept marginally informed.
Yeah, so
Well, I met
she'll
her, so
Maxine, yeah,
Yeah.
Maxine will cut in here and just be like, "Yes, of course. Haven't you been told, darling? This is Count Noctum." It's like, are you sure? I mean, I thought the the counts of Noctum were uh driven out uh centuries ago by the Empire.
we certainly were. And to you, Mayor, why did you decide to forsake them, I wonder?
I
From what I
mean,
understand, it's petty power games.
yes, I feel like I made myself fairly clear to Jacques about what I wanted.
Tell me, in your own words, I'm not a fan of second-handed
Hmm.
conversations.
Well, in short, I want the county.
Hmm. Well, I suppose if he wishes to give it up, we should become quite acquainted, you and I.
Uh, yes, I think we should.
How do you
Um,
see your rule of the county, of its people? Do you have any plans once you achieve your goal of lordship of
I
the
have
greater county?
I have some. I don't know that the petty details would interest someone of your standing.
As he kind of talks, he might feel a poke in his back and maybe something wet run across his neck.
Uh, what what is this?
Please
Oh,
answer my questions, Mayor. As the back carriage seat has eyes. And they look
Um,
hungry.
what treachery is this?
Your honesty is all I ask for.
Why, if you must know, I mean, with the county as vice seat of power, there is plenty more lands to conquer. Thessarius is a rich land just waiting to be colonized. This should give me the resources to expand. I have two children after all. I'll need to bequeath them two kingdoms.
Will all these lands be for your children, or do you wish people to know your name throughout history?
Hmm. Well, ideally both. They will know me through my children and their children.
But what about the people of Matuban? What'll happen of them?
They will serve as they have always served. That is their lot in life.
But who do you serve?
Why, myself, of course.
Interesting. And I'm just gonna let the mimic eat him.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
Huh.
Oh, we had a plan to get rid of the mayor. We didn't plan for Noctum.
We
Huh.
literally never planned for Noctum. Do y'all remember
No one
the
expects
oranges
the
incident?
Spanish Noctum Inquisition.
This
He's
isn't
back,
good for real.
baby.
I know this isn't good for relations, but I don't like this guy.
I mean, neither do the rest of us, and we kept you in the dark. So really, this is I blame myself.
This is how
Yeah.
to knock him axe. I
Once
mean,
again,
he didn't
not,
like him.
once
As the
again,
teeth dig into his body, he's like, "You're an ignoble person, Mayor, and I don't even wish to know your name, and no one else shall know your name. Maybe you
My
should give your
God.
children new names. Maybe they can be Cartiers. Goodbye."
blah, blah. Uh, and you said that Gerard is on that seat with him,
Oh my
and
God.
Maxine is on your side.
Yeah, she's safe.
Okay. So you're both splattered with blood as the mimic messily devours Mayor Francois Blanchard on your way to the
Oh my
Cathedral of
God.
Light. And Maxine turns to you and says, "Are you sure that was wise?"
Oh, oh
Sometimes the
shit.
right thing is outside wisdom. But then
Hmm.
again, all right things are always wise.
I want whatever he's smoking.
I want to
Hmm.
be on this Tennis trip.
I
Not
don't.
that
Uh,
one specifically.
I
I
need to
want
clean
to
up this
know.
mess as soon as I'm aware of it.
Want to know.
Right? We have cogs that need to be in motion right this second, and they aren't.
And they can't be.
Also,
Plans that got fucked up.
See,
also Tenlis's
are you
troops
in
are outnumbered.
charge of this cavalry I see that he's accompanied with?
yes, I am.
Interesting.
It's undead cavalry, by the way.
Yeah,
They're
they're skeletons.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw in the battle. They're kind of cool. They're like centaur, like horse skeletons or something.
yep.
Yeah, she
Super
basically
Sentai
took
Warriors?
she took the top half of the guys and put them on top of their horses.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. That's why I like her. Let's see here. Well, we'll have to think about a cover story later. You're smart, and also I put you in charge.
Hmm.
Fucking
I
wow.
think we can change the deal. I think you'd be better running Matuban, but that's not my decision. But I'll cast your
Hmm.
vote for it.
I don't particularly have an interest in ruling territory, as long as I have the parts I need for my experiments, and to make a healthy sum on the side to live comfortably. I am
Mm.
perfectly content.
Oh, good. Don't have to worry about it. I think there's some stupid general or something that they want to put in charge. You should be a good man.
Hmm. I don't know about any of that. And
I
she
didn't pay
kind
attention either. I don't think they have keep me informed in the conversations. I just
of,
hear bits.
it's that must be frustrating.
It's no problem.
I'm now afraid to have any personal conversation with Noctum because I'm afraid he's just gonna fucking mimic me.
Just don't get in close space. It's easy.
Yeah.
I love just how much Noctum affects with just one decision. He changes entire storylines with one action, and it's
Tell
beautiful.
is
I
just the abs is a one man derailing.
yeah.
It is literally like the beauty of Tennelus Noctum, and I
Of,
enjoy
mental
every.
of mentalist Noctum.
I do have to say, just so that Cell's aware of how persistence acts. It's like we role play the little side conversations and like the important meetings and stuff too. But when it comes to, like, the large scale planning, like Noctum is not like iced out of all. Like, hey, you're contributing a sizable
I
portion of these
I'm
troops.
just from his perspective, he probably forgot.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's
Wouldn't
fine.
surprise me.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
like
this crazy man.
All right, well,
You,
time
you
to move
probably
Mayor
probably told
Blanchard to
him.
the
I don't know if
historical
this is all
folder.
like Elijah plans or something.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna not remember it just in case I wasn't informed and this was all
That's
clear
gonna be the
No,
this
pleasure.
time.
no, we wouldn't. We at this point, especially since you were going to be with the mayor, we would not have told you our plans for him. Besides, just like, yes, he's our ally. We need his troops for the siege of Bateau. Yada yada. We wouldn't have told you that it's like, yeah, we're gonna ice him out eventually, because I would assume that you would have just mentioned it offhand. It's like, oh look, the dead man still walks. Like,
Look, we're gonna fridge him.
no.
But yeah, I've dealt with enough territory expansionists. They already invaded my country. It sounds like you just take my country because you could. So I'm gonna squash that right now. And he doesn't seem like a good guy. So I'm
I
gonna get rid of him.
I have no problem with the overall direction. I have problem with the timing, but we will deal with that.
Yeah. Let's get on to the cathedral. What's going on over here?
Yeah, so you arrive with your riders at the cathedral. It is really more of like a little village uh, surrounding the big cathedral.
Hmm.
Um, the the town's people spot this great horde of undead, either headless horsemen or skeletal horsemen, and everybody's fleeing. Um, so the town, by the time you actually get there, the town is basically a ghost town. Uh, Either everyone is either hiding or fled. Uh, and there's a great big cathedral in towering over the middle of the town, like easily the tallest building by several stories.
All right. Sir Courtier, burn this place. The village, anyways. My lady, I believe they keep a mausoleum under these cathedrals. That is yours.
Ooh, goody. Let's see what new toys we have. Yeah, and I guess the skeletons and the headless horsemen spread out amongst the town, uh, throwing lighted torches into buildings. The
I want to be expressed. I don't want them to kill anybody, but they're just gonna burn the place down. So unless there's like
Okay,
resistance.
there might be a little bit of resistance once they start throwing torches, and it's clear that they mean to burn the town to the ground. Um, but most people that are anybody that's still in the town, uh, yeah, anybody that's in the town is either going to resist or flee at this point. I guess those are the two options, and most are going to choose to flee once it's clear, like once the smoke starts rising.
These people shall know the lady's wrath. None of them are innocent, unfortunately. And I shall
Okay.
head to the cathedral. I'm
Okay.
gonna cast Animate Dead on Gerald, just for now, because I want him to come with me.
Okay. His corpse rises unsteadily to its feet. Its little nubs of wings kind of twitching on his back, because I believe you cut his wings off.
Yep. So Gerald, where is my bell?
The zombie points to the tall bell tower.
All right. Me, Gerald, and Frederick, and Doug are gonna head up there.
Okay. So you get to the foot of the tower and you look up, and you see there hanging in I think it's the belfry, right? Is where the bell is.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, but yeah, you see it hanging up there and you recognize it. That's your bell.
All right, we're gonna trudge up there,
Okay. Uh,
and we're gonna see. Well, we might be breaking a spell here. uh, all right, as I get to the bell, let's see here.
mhm.
I'll be attempting to teleport circle, and I'm gonna
Let's
look for the components in this cathedral because I imagine they must be around here somewhere. And there should be a sigil in Noctum. I'm gonna go through the little wizard journal because
Mhm.
he was the court mage, so he should probably have a teleport sigil there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to that sigil. That should be in Castle Noctum. And I'm just gonna kind of put it on the bell. I'm not gonna really make a circle. I'm gonna put all this stuff on the bell, and I'm gonna try to teleport the bell and myself and I guess the little posse to that location. So it's gonna we're bending the
Okay.
rules a little bit, but that's what I wanted.
Let's see. Let me scrutinize this. And
Probably have to like free the bell or something. I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. I think um, you can. Yeah, what you could do is basically there's a little um, there's like a winch for like lowering it to the ground for cleaning and potentially repairs.
All right, we'll do that.
Um, so you lower it to the ground, you draw the circle around it, and you cast the spell and teleport with you and everyone else to Castle Noctum.
Oh, I guess one more thing before I forget.
Hmm.
I didn't replace the feature, and since we went on proficiency, I learned one more thing. So I can have one more person in my book. No, sorry. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna have the necromancer lady, which I'll remember her
Hmm.
name eventually. Sign her name on there.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, she'll do that.
Also, I'm gonna
Uh,
give her the ring. Can
Maximum
control
blood
undead.
worth. Oh, okay, so she can control uh, the the headless hunt.
Yeah, and I guess maybe if there's like a horse pulling the little carriage around, you can take the mimic back home.
Okay. Yeah, she'll do that after she's finished burning and pillaging the town.
Yeah, whatever she likes to do up there. Uh,
Benefit. We
she's
do
got
get to
free
keep
reign.
all the pillaging now.
That is true.
That will be nice for our coffers. I can say that.
I'm sure there's a lot of money left behind. I don't know. Just burning them cheap town. It's just a warning or something, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, right. Well, as we teleport uh, to, I assume, Castle Noctum, we'll appear, and there'll be like a blast of rubble, and we'll be like a few stories underground. It'll be like a shaft of light
Mhm.
peering upwards, and then I'll send a message to Elise Wraith. It's like, oh, this place. Elise, I have the bell. Uh, I'm at the sigil place, whatever we call it.
The teleportarium.
And I'm gonna please send some laborers. You'll need a crane and things to get it
At
to the
once, my lord.
cathedral. As I look around the area, there'll be a tunnel that'll catch my attention. Let's see here. I wrote some stuff down. Let's see here. Oh, and I'll be kind of drawn towards it. And I'll beckon Gerald and the rest of my posse to come with me. And we'll travel about an hour underground through stairs. And eventually, they'll open up to a cavern, another underground lake of sorts, in a large cavern. And we'll look out over the area to the many tunnels and caverns that run and caves that run under Meyer Noctum, and get a view. And we'll continue downwards through a few more stairs, and then we'll come to antechamber. The pillars will be rhymed with mineral deposits and all the fun stuff, and there'll be doors cast upon their hinges. I'll signal Frederick and Doug to stay here, and I'll take Gerald with me down a few more stairs through the door into a large, let's see here, a large chamber. Uh, it'll be flooded with about knee-deep water, and we'll begin to wade through it and travel a few yards within. And as we get further in, let's see here. I'm going to take Gerald's hands. I'm going to say a prayer. And I'm going to lower him to the water and set him adrift to the center of the room. Where eventually shadowy hands will kind of grip him and coerce him until a massive set of jaws arises from the water and crashes around him with a long clap. And the colossal beast will whirl around the room and kind of park itself in front of Noctum. I'll see here. I wanted to write stuff down to react it so I can get my thoughts clear here. Let's see here. Hold along, and it will speak. Noble son of Noctum. It will speak with many voices. Father, husband, consort, you have not forgotten. Her dreams reach out, and you've answered. A multitude of hands will reach out and caress him and touch him. You've brought many souls, but she covets the souls of the arch-defilers most. You deserve a gift for what you have done. And one of the hands will reach into a large descended a face with this jaws will distend in the side of the beast. Its sides are a row of faces and arms and torsos and the like, and this large crocodilian beast. And it'll reach down inside its throat and pull out a black gem, round. It'll almost seem darker than this pitch black room, but inside will be a array of colors, and they'll almost put you into a trance and draw you in, and you kind of drift off. And as Noctum drifts off, staring at this gem, a hand will touch his face, and he'll come back to reality. As the arms on the beast will grab his prosthetic limb, and they'll take the gem and they'll set it into place on his shoulder, almost melding into the metal. Let's see here. And let's see here. Her bindings weaken. Soon she'll rise again. Let's see here. Her grieved heart will soon be filled with hatred. its multitude of reptilian eyes will blink. And it'll say, "Remember who you are, Tantalus and Noctum." And it'll begin to leave. Uh, Tantalus will kind of look up and go, "Oh, wait, don't go." And let's see here. As the creature leaves, they'll say, "She's counting on you." And as it submerges, the water will kind of drag him under. And he'll kind of black out. And as time passes, he'll wake up with water in his lungs and get up from the flooded floor. And he'll look around and he'll inspect his shoulder and he'll see the gem set into place and he'll flex his multitude of fingers on his prosthetic. And he'll go back to Frederick and Doug as he wades through the pools and he'll speak to them. Let's speak with Dead. I'm gonna break the rules here a little bit since they're my friends. And I'm gonna ask him, I was like, "How long has it been, Frederick?" And he'll speak. "It's been. There's a drop of water that I've been counting, and it's fallen 17,469 times, which I surmise is about a little less than a fortnight." And as he says that, Doug will do a little dance. He'll clap, do a finger gun. He'll clap. He'll cross his arms in front of him. "Doug's been learning a little dance." And we shall travel up to the surface, and the area has been excavated. The bells have been craned up, and we'll climb some ramps and some scaffolding, and we'll see the undead labor teams are preparing to move the bell to the cathedral. So I want to do my stupid joke. Reference Fortnite.
Oh, that's funny. I missed it.
I wasn't.
That's fine.
Motherfucker.
Y'all didn't
Well
hear that
done.
was good though.
I forgot that's a game sometimes. When I hear Fortnite, I don't think of a Fortnite. I think of Fort and Night because I remember when it was a base building zombie survival game.
Doug did the default dance.
Which was
Yep.
fun.
Nope. I get that now.
But yeah, I messaged you through. I was like, I kind of wanted to make that rod of like, what, that warlock rod gives me like the
Mhm.
better stuff, and then it like takes 2 weeks. And it sounded like it takes like 2 weeks to prep. So Noctum's been kind of like down here for a while, and that's what he's
Okay,
been doing.
that
I believe
works.
Noctum got stuck in another hole. I love him. He cracks me up.
And also, I brought in Ko, the face eater.
Mm-hmm. I caught that. That's great.
I should have described them better, but hey. I read all this shit down. I just didn't even look at it. It's like, yeah, these are my bullet points. It's too much words to be bullet points, so I like lost my place. Oh well. So
I
that's
liked
Noctum.
it. Well, I guess we know what Noctum is doing for the next couple of weeks. So he just kind of disappears. Although I guess Maxine will come back laden with treasures and report back to the rest of the group. I will tell you what all she brings back next week.
On the fact that the mayor's dead.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Mayor got mimicked.
Well, she went along with the mimic, so maybe there's like some bones in there or something. I don't know. We'll find out.
That doesn't help us.
Yeah.
We'll dress him up.
Yes, we dress up the bones. Yes. Let's put a
Well,
hat on
Well,
actually,
them. They'll never
actually,
notice.
all his claims go to the son, right? So we just put the son in charge of.
I'm not
putting
worried
kids in
about the
charge of
family. The
things.
family we're just going to ship off to Asarius. What I am worried about is the commanders of his units that we have not had time to replace with loyalists.
Yeah, there weren't that many of them. Most of them were skeletons, so I covered that part.
Nope.
No.
There
about
were
one-
4 units of people,
Yeah,
including
that's not
one
that many.
tier
We
3
outnumber
unit.
them.
But we need them.
Yeah, sounds like they're going home.
they were going with you guys to Bateau, but okay.
God
Persistence
damn it.
would not let them go to Bateau. I'm not sure. I would leave it to Elijah to figure out because he had plans in motion. But as soon as we know, it's like, okay, panic room meeting. Maxine, you're filling in for Tentalis.
Speaking of which, since Tentalis is going to be gone for 2 weeks after making this mess, um, so I remember we talked last week about potentially bringing in other characters as being like PCs for side missions. So you guys still interested in that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I made a list of characters that I think would be reasonable to do that with. Um, so here, I'll share that with you guys. And this is not exhaustive. This is just my like going through the list of NPCs that I've written
Boy,
down.
golly, that's a list.
These are people that could be possible candidates. So think about that as we close out the session.
0-20?
Protect the people, Zollinger. Where they come from?
We're good.
Captain Grenouille?
I see Gabriel and Julienne, which means that we're gonna have a kid adventure.
Tiny kid adventure.
Well,
Let's
Julian is like
go.
16, so that's like close.
Who was protect the people? Okay, wait a second. Who?
He was
They
in
were not a
Westgate, I
character
think.
that you met. Uh, remember, you met Kill Demon Zollinger.
That's what I thought, but then you put protect, and I'm like, okay,
Uh,
yeah,
Kill Demons is dead. Protect the People is alive.
okay. Well,
So, and I guess we could also arrange a little bit further afield. So we could do things like a side mission with like a squad of UDDC soldiers fighting in the Southern Front.
I
Uh,
I would like to at least focus, unless unless you're having something important happen for lore reasons outside.
mhm,
When it comes to V's that we're picking, I would like them to be like, yeah, our characters are making sure that we're organizing the siege of Bateau, but we have other things that we're sending people to do, and have
mhm.
those kind of be the things. Like
Okay.
the things that the things that are on Persistence's list are eventually going to the two dwarven places and doing
Mhm,
what the dwarves asked us to do. One of which is in Noctum, and then I assume that once Bateau is taken and Tenelis is like, okay, I have helped Montalban be sort of, they have a power base there. I need to make sure that my own realm is secure, and probably doing something there along those lines, and having like, I don't
mhm.
know how many champions Tenelis has been calling to his side.
Sure.
Oh man, we have to go back to the swamp.
Yeah,
There's still the matter of that black dragon.
To make it
he's at
worse,
the
I could
capital.
probably
kill
run.
that.
I could probably run the campaign and knock him.
That's honestly,
Yeah.
I had the thought and then I shivered. Like, no, why
Yeah.
why do I
Yeah, we
have
could
this
give
thought?
Thur a time to play a game or two.
Yeah, that too. So
That
We
would
could
be
also
nice.
probably do it on an off day if we really wanted.
no, I
I'm
think give Thur a break. Like if it's like, hey, my kids are
nice.
being children.
I know, but I don't want
Yeah.
to disappoint people on their D&D day where they're like, we have to do a cell game today. Damn it.
as long as we know in advance and we can make characters for it. So
I know when
Yeah,
I was
well,
thinking about
whatever.
things, I thought about multiple plot threads. There's like, we'll probably never get to these. I can probably DM them and put them out in the world.
but yeah,
That sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, so these are the characters that I thought of just like that have been introduced, but you guys are always free to introduce more NPCs. So if you have ideas,
The
please share
only
them.
one I would like to bring in would be a UDDC Kobold, since we haven't had any. That's about it.
Okay.
The rogue
Yeah.
party when we do the
Yeah, if there's
assassin
a
mission.
southern front, I want to be a kobold.
Baloo, the Bugbear Barbarian.
One of my clerics would be cool.
Mhm.
One of your clerics from in the city.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Any of them would also be the clerics would also be eligible. I just went through who I had entered. I need to put them into Roll20 and I haven't yet.
I can't believe I haven't been giving you shit about doing a vape because I thought it was an inhaler. I would be giving you so much shit.
Literally every time
Yeah.
I hear it,
Why do I try and be like in
He's just
any ways
ripping the
not just an asshole?
gotta rip
clouds.
those
I am.
sweet,
I
sweet
play in a
clouds.
fog machine. That's what I do
Nash
now.
used smoke screen.
Yeah.
Nash cast Fog
If
Cloud.
if we
Smoke
did
bomb.
a Noctum thing, I would love the idea of being like a zombie crocodile paladin of some shape or form that
Of
just
the
seems
lady.
funny. Of the
Well,
lady,
guess what's
it's like
crawling? Guess what's
yes,
crawling out of the crypt when he rings that bell?
sure.
I would like to be one of the fallen rangers, the Elven Rangers.
You don't
Okay.
even need to be
I-
fallen. You can
They're
just be a
drow
live
rangers,
one.
but it doesn't really matter.
Well, you went with an undead theme, and I was thinking about it, and like
Yeah.
that's what Noctum does, and so like one of the ladies who has fallen, I will be a zombie ranger.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like all those ideas. So I
I
guess
wish
the
they
question
posted the
is,
art for Spellslinger somewhere, because like
Mhm.
they have a little witch card that I almost want to use for Zuli the Witch. They have Mausoleum Witch, and the art looks kind of funny. I like it.
For
Let's
spell
see here.
slingers?
Yeah, the Mausoleum Witch. She looks
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, you can probably just Google that. Find the
Yeah,
art.
I'm looking for it. I don't. It's not posted online.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's annoying.
that's a shame. So I guess the question is, what plot thread do you guys want to pursue next week? So I know what to prepare.
Definitely. I don't think we have enough time for anybody to do a side story thing.
Mhm.
We're definitely now that everybody's here, unless we need to figure out if any curveballs are coming at us with the mayor's people.
Mhm.
So probably
I-
whatever the
I
fallout
would
of
think purely in the moment of their military, they don't really have a reason to doubt stuff. They're being sent to a dangerous siege, and they could just be like, "Oh, he's with the command staff back at the city while everything gets organized."
Yeah.
For the immediate first 2 weeks, I don't think they would have any reason to question that. I think it'll be further down the line.
Yeah.
The main thing I was thinking, even if like they sent humans along, I was just gonna like bribe them with like the fucking money from the cathedral looting.
Well, because Elijah has people, it's just can we keep a lid on it until the people that he has in mind are in place? And do we also know that those people he has in mind are going to go along with us? Because he has the idea, but we haven't really vetted them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I should note, I think the contact you were thinking of, um, that was a contact. Are you thinking of? Let me look up her name.
The city guard
Yeah, I
captain for
realized that. I think
Bateau.
she's in Bateau.
Well, she's in Villicus. Yeah, Villicus of
Oh,
Philiplanche. So she would be when you
that's
actually go
why
to
I
have your
thought.
final battle with the
Yeah.
Count. She would be critical in that, but she's not going to help you with the mayor.
the
Okay.
one that was in
Uh,
Via Plunge that
my
you liked was the lumberjack union guild leader.
Right.
yeah, the one that I reinstated. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my main option.
Yeah.
And just knowing how Elijah operates, he's been working on getting that set up at least a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously, the timeline's moved up,
Accelerated.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Hey,
Within.
oh,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
If you can, shoot me a message on Discord later to remind me what the dwarf said about upgrading my weapons, because I have forgotten. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I didn't tell you, because you haven't had that follow-up conversation yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to follow up. Okay, cool.
So that's also something we could do next week.
Yeah,
Is have that conversation.
Yeah, because Persistence needs to go to Carrick Bryn, and then whatever the southwest corner of Fort Noctum is, or at least send people to do whatever the dwarves asked him for there.
Right.
But yeah, just get that thing under control, start the siege, and then probably start doing the first few things of a diplomacy. I imagine that most of the diplomacy is just recruit additional units and just who wants what and when we can get them. That's really the main thing. Persistence would probably be at this point like looking through the mercenaries catalog, but I don't think we would have time to get any of like people he has in mind. That would all be post Bateau stuff.
Right.
But if anybody else has ideas for more local units that they think they can get their hands on, um, yeah, probably whatever bones were in the cathedral for like a crypt thing. Maxine could probably make some more undead with.
More skeletons, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things for in the city, Minsk is still interested in a student rebellion.
Yes, I have that written down
All
to
right.
write what you or write a plot hook for that.
I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. So with that, I think we are good. So I'll see you all next week then.
All right.
Yay!
So,
Good night.
We did it.